In today's video, Leeds linked with FC Basel striker. More update from The Athletic on Kai Wagner. Alfonso Pedraza linked with a return to Leeds United. World Cup payouts finally revealed. Maximilian Wober linked with Leeds. Leeds versus Manchester City reviewed. Hey folks, Jer here on the 29th of December with your Leeds news. I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas and is feeling a little less bloated than I am right now. Too much food, but a good Christmas. Today's video and the news, how we're going to work it today is we're going to start off with the news and then we're going to do the preview or the review, from the Leeds Man City game last night. So if you want the news, I'll let you know when the handover is happening. You can watch the news and head off afterwards if you want it, if you're not interested in the review. And if you are, you can stick around until the end. Usual things apply. If you do like the channel and you want to help us out, you can do so by subscribing. That's the only thing I ask. If you like the video, and subscribe. If that's what you're into, you can stick around to the end of the video to see if you like the stuff first before you do all of that. So I won't make you just press buttons for the sake of it. We're going to start off, and we'll start off with the transfer rumours that have been floating around over the last week or so. And there's a fair bit. Some of it very much is pinch of salt territory, or stuff I wouldn't believe a whole lot of get too much wrapped up in. And we'll start off with the first one, and it's, according to the Daily Mail, the FC Basel striker Dan Ndoye has been linked with a move to Leeds United. 22-year-old Swiss international has been linked with a move to Leeds now. However, the player himself has only scored 4 goals in 42 appearances and has made 15 appearances this season. I think if you're looking at realistic strikers coming in for Leeds, which we need, I think somebody of 22 years of age with 4 goals behind him, we've got that. We've probably got that already with Joffy and Willie Nanto and with Sam Greenwood and Perkins coming through as well, and Mateo Joseph. So I don't think that's... I would take very little from that. Very little. And then moving on to something that's more substantial and has a little bit more legs in it. And we're talking about Philadelphia Union left back and long-time Leeds linky Kai Wagner. And according to The Athletic, Leeds will make a move for the player when the January window opens. Phil Hay said, despite being 25-year-old, Philadelphia Union Kai Wagner is an option that Leeds will be looking at. And the defender, who is yet to appear for a major European league, has plenty of miles left in the tank. A fee to get him would be in the low millions. He wouldn't cost Leeds an awful lot, and there has been connections and contact between Jesse Marsch and Philadelphia Union manager Coach Curtin in the past. And what Coach Curtin has said to say about this situation is the following. Basically, Curtin has said, I've had discussions with Jesse. Obviously, he's on their radar. There's no question about that. But so are a lot of other good left backs in the world. Leeds have been linked with Ambelise Parisi, Rafael Guerrero at Dortmund, as well now as Kai Wagner as well. So it'll be interesting to see. And we can add another left back to the list, and we can add one to this list, and it will be Alfonso Pedraza. And those of a slightly older vintage of Leeds fans will remember Pedraza from his second half loan spell at Leeds. I think it was 2016-2017 season when he was a left winger when he came to Leeds. Took him a little bit to settle in, had a fantastic finish to his time at Leeds. There was a option for Leeds to buy the player should Leeds have got promoted, which they didn't, unfortunately, so the option fell away. But according to Football España, Leeds are interested in bringing Pedraza back to Ellen Road. He has been playing predominantly as a left back over the last number of years for Villarreal, and famously played in the Champions League final against Manchester United, one that they won on penalties, and was also involved in their Champions League semi-final run the following year. So there's a lot of experience there. He has been excellent at left back for Villarreal the time that he's been there. Football España say that he could move because the option of a strong fee is open for Villarreal. The player and the club are both said to be interested and open to the deal happening. A fee of around about £13 million, which is not an awful lot, has been discussed. I suppose the big question that is on everyone's mind is, do Leeds have any money coming to January? Because it's not looking likely with Radrizzani's talk about the takeover. If we don't have any money and there is money being spent, who's footing the bill? Is the 49ers stepping in and footing this bill? We'll have to wait and see. So that's the first thing. Do we have any money? Who's footing the bill? These are not expensive players. Like, none of these are going to cost Leeds an awful lot. Kai Wagner will be low millions. You know, Alfonso Pedraza, they're not going to do both. But again, low millions, 13 million, not an awful lot of money. So lots of potential easy ones there. But which one did they go for? That's the question. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know. What do you think? And then the final transfer one is around Maximilian Wober. And according to Fabrizio Romano, Leeds are interested in the Red Bull Salzburg skipper. He has played for Jesse Marsch before. In fact, Jesse Marsch signed him for Red Bull Salzburg when he was managing the club. He has 80 appearances so far for Red Bull, has scored 5 goals, has 13 caps for Austria, and is the current captain of the Red Bull team. A player that has made no secret of his desire to play abroad in his time there, has said he wants to play at the highest level he can possibly play at, and a player could be interested in the move. Again, not huge, 11 million euro being marked. So you're looking probably about 8-9 million pounds. Add on the 5 million worth of add-ons being rumoured. It's a very specific deal, and Romano comes out with very specific information. There's usually a lot more weight behind it than, say, the Daily Mail coming out about the Bale striker. So there's a lot more in detail to this. On the basis of last night, the player can play left back, but it's predominantly a centre back. And on the basis of Liam Cooper last night, it would be a good move for Leeds to go and get a new centre half and bring it in there. Arguments to say we could probably do with 3 or 4 new centre halves, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then World Cup payouts, according to financial expert Daniel Plumley, or Dr. Daniel Plumley, who's been doing some work at MOT Leeds this last couple of weeks. He said the final payout that Leeds will receive from the World Cup players will be £502,000, which is not a bad amount of money for letting your players go to play a World Cup. Leeds will also get money included in that from Rafinha and from Calvin Phillips and Dan James as well, because they were part of Leeds over the last 2 seasons, so that's how that works. Right, that is going to be it for the news today. We'll move on now to the Leeds versus Manchester City match review. See you in a second. Right, so let's talk about Leeds versus Man City. That was an interesting game, I think is the way I'd put it. There was some good bits, some bad bits. There were lots of bits in the middle, the lower middle as well. And I suppose just break it down. I personal opinions on this were 3-1 defeat to Manchester City at home is not the worst result that could have happened to Leeds. We've had worse. I don't think anyone really expected us to get anything from that game. I think the more you watch Manchester City, the more you realise that they are light years ahead of everybody else. And should Arsenal slip up at any point, which you would imagine Arsenal will, you'd imagine City just bypass them. It was an interesting game, not a game I got massively wound up about, but there's a couple of people online getting a bit antsy, but then the same people that get antsy all the time, there's an excuse to throw something at Jesse Marsch, they will. There wasn't a massive amount that Leeds could have done about that game. There was one point in the first half where Leeds pressed really, really well. In the first half, they pressed in numbers, and Man City just calmly kept passing the ball and kept moving the ball quickly and passed their way out of trouble. I remember saying to my girlfriend at the time, going, that was an incredible phase of play. Because there was nothing wrong with the Leeds press. It was a really good press. It was very good press. They went in numbers. They went together. They moved around as a block. They did everything right. Man City were just better. Man City players were just cooler, calmer on the ball. And that was a big factor in the game, calmness and coolness on the ball for me. I thought Man City will show the level of player they have, the quality they have above the Leeds players is seen in how they control the ball and how they control the game in situations where it's panicked. You look at Leeds' system, and one of the biggest things Jesse Marsch has been saying about the system is it's designed to cause moments of panic so you can win the ball back in good areas and counter-pressing. Problem Man City is they don't get panicked. They're good players. They're top of the best players in the world. They're calmer in these situations. So if you go pressing them, they train for these scenarios, and they're well able for it. So it's hard to make situations where your system is designed around panic when the team doesn't get panicked. So there was a change in the system last night. It was a 4-3-3 for a lot of the first half. I was very, very happy. I know we weren't doing an awful lot going forward, but again, you got to think about the opposition you're playing against. And it was nice to see Leeds play with some form of a defensive system for a change. We haven't done it. There was one point in the first half, I think it was up about, 42nd minute at that point before it fell apart a little, where again I thought I can clearly see Leeds are playing with a low block. I've never seen Leeds play with a low block. It's working quite well. It's very well organised. The 3 in the middle and the 3 in midfield are just crossing over each other nicely to form a nice block across the midfield to stop Rodri's passes into Haaland. They did a great job in the first half, outside of the 31st, given 30 seconds and won the end of the half. To stop Haaland getting in behind, because he's terrifying. When he starts moving early, he's just terrifying. I'm kind of want to put my notes. What I wrote down was the way we played in the first half was really, really good. Up to the 25-minute mark, I thought Leeds were well in the game. I thought we had a couple of chances going forward, a bit more composure and crosses and final third passes. I thought we could have got chances. I thought defensively we were doing really, really well. I thought Adam Forshaw and Willie Gnonto in the first 25 minutes were excellent in keeping the ball for Leeds at a time where Leeds just, we're starting to feel the pressure coming on them. And then it kind of breaks down. It gets a bit scrappy. The passing kind of went out the window a little bit for me. I thought Forshaw didn't look like he was going to have the legs to get through the game. Ultimately, he didn't, but he did reasonably well in his comeback in there. But what you missed with Tyler Adams is that calmer head in there, to take it. Maybe a Forshaw and Adams pairing, if available, would have been a good pairing for that game, because Mark Rocket looked a bit shaky at times in midfield, kicking the ball away, giving possession back pretty easily. Second 20 minutes of the first half, Leeds just kept giving possession back to Man City, just, you know, clearing the ball into areas where Man City players were, and not something that was going to help Leeds. The goals we've conceded, you can blame systems on it this time. I think we got caught forward. And the first half, we got caught committing too many players forward. That's all that was. Got overzealous, got carried away with ourselves, and got picked off. I think second half, look, how many times do you want to say about Leeds centre halves? Liam Cooper's pass to Robin Koch, when Robin Koch didn't want the ball, wasn't even looking for the ball, and kind of looked like he was half asleep. Between the two of them was a mess there. Most of the blame for me with Liam with Cooper. Like, go down the line. There's a player left side. Why go back across your goal? You're not supposed to do that. It's a terrible mistake. I think that what lesson we're learning from Leeds centre backs is we can't trust them. We can't trust Leeds centre backs to do, you know, simple things well. Llorente coming on, terrified again, seeing him come onto the pitch. Luckily, a lot of the ball was kept away from him. We didn't have Junior Firpo on his left hand side, and Pascal Struijk does a very good job of covering. But even moments during the game where Struijk looked pretty panicky at times, swiping balls in the air, slicing clearances, all that kind of stuff in the first half. But then I thought in the last 25 minutes, as Leeds came back into the game and started to push forward a bit more. Obviously, Man City taking their foot off the gas at that stage, but it was nice to see Leeds pushing forward and make some chances. And I mean, Joffrey's inches, the toe of a keeper away from getting back to 3-2. And in the end, the 3-1 result isn't a bad result. We weren't embarrassed by Manchester City. We weren't, you know, stretched for the entire game against Man City. We did okay. So for me, we lost the game. Going into the game, I think I said, we're going to lose, but let's not get embarrassed. Let's do something. And a nice finish for Pascal Struijk for his goal as well. Nice little move from Erling Haaland to not celebrate his goals against Leeds. He never played for Leeds. He doesn't have to do that, you know. The fact that he's from Leeds, he's born not far from the ground. He said himself that he discussed before the game that he was never going to celebrate the goals, which is a classy move. It was a classy move. So that's that one out of the way. So that one goes. And now it's on to Newcastle. We've gotten results against good sides this season. Newcastle would be better than what we are probably right now, but they wouldn't be as good as, say, Man City, Liverpool or Arsenal. We've gotten results against 2 of the 3 of them. Can Leeds go and put a decent performance in the park? They'll have to now. Results pretty much went their way this weekend as well, so it keeps that gap. And everyone's saying there's only 2 points to the relegation zone. There's only 3 points to 10th position either. So there's not a lot in that lower half table. It's super tight. It will start, you would imagine, over the next couple of weeks with double games and that kind of stuff to start to get a bit more stretched. Hopefully we're on the higher end of that, and hopefully we get our business done early in January, and we start, if we are going to spend any money, we get it done early. So anyway, folks, that's it for me today. Thanks very much. I will see you back here tomorrow with some more Leeds news. Have a lovely evening, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.